All right, everybody, welcome back. Again, a big thank you for sticking with us. Tukey here, joined by Mr. Sim for the win. Our first matchup of the day is in the books. It's time to move on to our second matchup, as you can see on screen. Roots Gaming taking on Goons. Roots entering play today in 9th, Goons in 12th. But Sin, I believe things have changed perhaps a little bit with the standings. We'll take a look, and hopefully, again, that is updated with the prior game being reported. But we get a look here, and indeed, it is updated. So, as you can see, currently in first place. Obviously, H-Red's the better point per game mark at this point, but an interesting table, to say the least, at this point in the season, Sid.
I mean, it's very interesting, especially considering the discrepancy in some of the games played. I don't know if there's ever been a time and a point in the season where we've ever seen a 6-game gap. Maybe I know we've seen 4-game gaps at times, but there's several 6-game gaps here between that. You can see for Lunda Sabo 6-game gap, Goons, who we're about to see, YMCA, there's that 6-game gap. So, take the standings for what you will. Kind of more important with the point percentage here, but this matchup right here, Roots and Goons, this is absolutely huge. Both of them vying for a playoff spot, and both of them with very, very, similar point percentages.
Absolutely. So again, that left-hand side of the bracket is where you want to be at the end of the season. 30 games played. Those teams on the left will be in the playoffs. And of course, 13 through 15 relegation fights, 16 automatically relegated. So a lot to play for still for every single team in this division. But you'll notice here again, Roots Gaming in 9th on 18 games played, behind the pace of the likes of Granite and ZSC Esports, whereas Goons and their opponents just 14 games played. A tremendous opportunity for them to make up some ground.
Yeah, and Goons have kind of had an up and down season. You can see there from their goal differential. That's kind of always been the team they've been. A very tight goal differential, but they've been able to come out on top most times. In this one, though, they have more goals against than they have goals for. That's never a good sign, but they're going to have to try to, turn that back the other way here. They got some great young talent, a lot of good, offensive skill on that team. It's time for that to really kind of come to roost here, and no better time than up against Roots here. Both of them vying for a playoff spot. These games are huge because they could be at the end of the season battling for that, final couple seeds. Each of these games essentially is a 4-point game.
Absolutely. So with that, let's get a look at the lineups as things stand heading into this matchup. For Roots Gaming, Limu, Captain Lexa, and Sampe up top. Nordsman and Vodi on defense. Yantes between the pipes. For Goons, it is Pika Roger, Captain Kriketsi, and Leitinen on the right. Viva and J Toro on defense. Fincona in goal for Goons in this particular matchup. We'll take a look at the center matchup here to kick things off. The Battle of the Captains. And I mean, it's interesting right now in terms of this matchup, Sin, because it's pretty close. Granted, Kriketsi posting his numbers in fewer games.
Yeah, and again, that kind of goes to show you how strong that Goons offense is. And Kriketsi, he's I think center really suits him. You can see the face-off percentage, very, very close. It's pretty much margin of error between these two guys. But he's, Kriketsi, 25 points in those 14 games played. And as I believe he also has a pretty solid amount of hits, and he's kind of always had that side to him. He's, the kind of wrecking ball type style. And that's why I feel like he's very, very suited for center on this Goons roster.
The winger battle is next. Again, for Roots, Alimu and Asape. For Goons, Piku Roger, the defending Rookie of the Year, not to mention pretty accomplished singles player as well, as we found out in the past week, taking home some hardware. Leitinen to his right, of course, the new addition to this team, and certainly fitting in. But yeah, needless to say, the likes of Pika Roger in the spotlight in this matchup.
Absolutely, and he seems to make magic happen oftentimes, and he's always, at least in the last season, he seemed a lot of his strength came from his playmaking ability. Well, here he is putting up 16 goals so far in 14 games played. If there's ever a doubt that this kid was a dynamic, all sides of the ice, couldn't do anything type player, well, between this season and last season, there's your evidence that he's one of the big up-and-coming stars here in the ECL Elite. And on the flip side there, between Sampi and Limu, the 25 points for Limu. Sampi, you could argue he needs to catch up just a little bit. Just the 5 goals, only 16 points, sub-point per game. And honestly, if you want to be a playoff team, it's nearly, at least all your 3 of your forwards have to be point per game at a minimum.
A defensive battle as well. Again, Nordsman and Avodi on defense against Viva and J Toro. And, I mean, so far, granted, again, that game's played difference, but, the edge in terms of point production so far in favor of the Roots duo.
Yeah, and that's something that you don't necessarily expect when on the other side it's Viva and J Toro, especially now Viva with J Toro, you expect that defensive pair to be able to just really put up the points there. They haven't really been able to done that. Their overall team defense hasn't quite been there. So kind of, the jury's still out on this pairing and they're trying to sort of figure things out. But on the flip side, it seems like Vody at least has figured out his style. 106 hits in 18 games played. Yeah, watch out if you're trying to gain the line on his side of the ice.
That would be Limu who matches up with, or not Limu, excuse me, it'd be Pika Roger who matches up with him. So that'll be interesting to see what might happen there. The goaltending duel is our last head-to-head. Iantas against the veteran here in Finn Kona. And, again, decent numbers on both sides, but still not quite what we would have expected from Finn Kona.
Yeah.
And, in fairness as well, the goals against, just in general, that team defense, like really Goons haven't gotten off to the flying start that I think a lot of people expected them to. That momentum's almost been carried more by a team like Sawo.
Yeah, I mean, you have the addition of Lehtinen, which started out really hot. He's cooled off just a little bit, as has this team. Then you have Viba back there with J Toro, it's great. You put more of a veteran presence back there with Viba, kind of help coach him along and help him, continue to adjust and get better here in the ECL Elite. But it's J Toro playing the right side, and we've really only seen J Toro be on that left side. Is that kind of changing his play style? Has that affected him? The numbers would say maybe it has, but again, he's also adjusting to being on a new team. So while this Goon squad, did make some waves in this last season, they're going to have to battle for their playoff position in this season. Although the point percentage is fine for right now, they got to continue to get those points. And again, this is a really big matchup here against Roots, who they will be contending with to get that playoff seeding.
Again, we are just about ready to go for our first game of 2 in this regular season matchup. Roots Gaming and Goons up next on the agenda. And again, as you saw in the standings, very important matchup for both of these teams moving forward. And for Roots, like we mentioned, you have ZSC ahead of you with those games in hand. That certainly complicates things. And as it turns out, I mean, again, also not the easiest schedule for Roots coming up, Sid. I mean, they got YMCA, who are in a very similar position. That is a very important matchup for both of these teams on Wednesday. Thursday, they have Granite. That's a tough one. Granite, of course, currently in the playoffs. Färjestad, currently in the playoffs. Havu, currently in the playoffs. And then they take on Conquer. So not the easiest schedule for Roots at all. And it's a little bit concerning.
Yeah, and so this matchup gets all the more bigger, not just because it's with someone near you, but as you said, looking on into the future, and they sit with a 500 record right now, and Roots kind of came out of the gates pretty strong. It was them and IQ, we had them and IQ especially, who were like, yeah, these are teams on the bubble, they could make it. Roots came out looking like they were going to, pick up one of those spots, but kind of faltered a bit, slowed down, and with the remaining games on their schedule too, it's really only going to get harder from here on out. So every single point at this stage, just monumentally important.
Of course, you look there too, elite edges across the board for everybody involved. So look for those quick cuts and for the agility. Should note as well, I had to look at the Goons schedule as well for the rest of the season. Orebro, ZSC, Conquer, Verlunda, Sabo, Northern Ascendancy. Kind of a similar situation, but again, Sin, that really kind of sets it up where we've talked about it. There aren't too many easy matchups here for those in the elite division, that is for sure. Of course, as well, sportsgamer.gg now for the website. Of course, sportsgamer.gg on all social media platforms because, of course, under what we do here, as you've seen by the FIFA coverage in the last week, it is more, of course, than just NHL esports. Of course, a big shout out as well to our lovely sponsors, Kovalon Lakritsi, Wilhelm and ST Hockey. Sin, we are ready to go for the first game of 2 between these two teams. And in terms of the old school putting you on the hot seat, I don't dare to because I never would have expected a back-to-back shutout for Sawo. So it just goes to show how unpredictable every single matchup tends to be.
Yeah, if I did have to make a prediction here, I would say I don't think we're going to see what we saw in the last couple games. I don't think we're going to, especially in that first one, I don't think we're going to see a low-scoring affair between the pair of these teams. I think it's just not really in the cards. Again, Roots allowing a decent chunk of goals, 2.71, and we saw Goons allowing quite a few goals, and both of them can score a decent chunk. Roots is kind of, struggled from here and there, so it's a good opportunity for them to get that goal scoring going against another team which has struggled to keep the puck out of the net.
It is, of course, Goons in the black and red, Roots in their road whites. We'll see who's able to find, perhaps, an early breakthrough to really set the tone. Here's Limu's shot on rebound, scores! How is that for an early start? Sampe with the goal, his 6th of the season, and Roots strike just 2 minutes and 12 seconds into the first period.
Kind of seemingly coming out of nowhere. It was kind of just a nothing play off of a, turnover in the neutral zone. He fires it on net, and it bounces to, well, depending on who you are, the worst possible position for Sampe. It was just beautiful. He picks it up on his face, says, "Thank you very much. I will take that," and just slide it into the net there. Roots up 1-0.
A tremendous start for them in this contest. Puts the pressure on Goons. Loose puck. Shot by Pika. Roger. Rebound was there. Swept away from Yantes. This one dropped back to Vody. Vody shoveled that one just wide. Great effort. Pass, unfortunately, off the mark. Goons will look to settle things down. Vody picks it off. Tried to hit Lexa. This one dropped back now again for Nordsman. It's a Roots team, of course. Promoted to the Elite Division under a different name last season. For the sponsorship pickup. Here is Viba now for Goons. Nowhere to go. Had Kriketsi with him. Limu trying to find Sampe again. And now here is Pika Roger down the other way. And taken down. Vody able to lay the body. This loose puck into the Goons zone. Vody all over the place so far in this one. And again, we called out Pika Roger might have a little bit of trouble with the physical play. And it's a good start for Vody in that regard. This puck sent down low, picked off by Nordsman. Aiming for Sampe again, the goal scorer. Vody able to get that one down, but he's taken down himself. 4-on-2 for Goons developing. Lights it in for Pika Roger. Good save on the blocker side. Puck in front again. Pika Roger wrap around. Huge dive for the puck. Could have been an interesting moment there. Got this all over the place.
Really good job from Viva right there. He was maybe beat by a half step there, but used his defensive skill stick, and with his hand in this, he just kind of put it across the body in the reception area of the attacking skater and just knocked it loose.
Chance here, kept alive. Kriketsi battling for it. Contact. Actually, excuse me, that is Kriketsi on the attack. Sorry, again, you said again one of those things where it's just, can we please get a slightly different color?
No, are you telling me you don't like? You're telling me you don't like brown, orange, and then the off-white, off yellow? That all looks similar.
Goodness, it's my favorite. I love it because there's only, we only have a few colors that we can recognize as humans, right? Like there's like 5. So let's not expand our horizons at all. As Goons in the attacking zone, Jay Toro can't get that shot off. Space down that left-hand side now for Limu. The big spin, pass in front, big save by Fincona. Great effort there for Lexa. 3.5 minutes to go. This one's sent down. And an icing is still called. A bizarre moment, to say the least.
I was just going to praise Pika Roger, how beautifully he read that twice. Read the first initial bounce, skated over to screen left side, and as it hit off the goal, he skated back and had the body position as we see a shot right there, but unfortunately, the ice was still called, and here they come back on the attack.
Great look for Sampe there, getting the goal scorer. Goons have this one down low. See what they can do. Lightning wraparound scores! Who else would it be? Pika Roger ties this one up in the final 2 minutes of the first.
Gets his 17th goal of the season there. We saw him go for that just a little bit ago, the kind of wrap chance, trying to catch Yantes off guard. He does so right there, as that was a very, very wide wraparound, and it almost feels like Yantes wasn't necessarily expecting it to come. His reaction was slightly late. but nonetheless, PQ Roger buries it, ties this game up here late in the first.
A huge moment there for Piku Roger. Gets Goons right back into this one. Still have time for perhaps another late goal for either one of these sides to kind of flip the momentum. Piku Roger has it again. Went for the wraparound again, too. Yanta's going to have to be on his toes, watching out for that. Sampe into the attacking zone, turns it over to Viba. Here's Kriketsi. Able to find Lightning, 3 seconds. Shot rebound just out of the reach of Jay Toro. And that'll do it for the opening 20 minutes, 1 goal apiece, as we'll get another look at the opening goal from Sampe.
Yeah, and this was just, again, kind of a really nice play, and just goes to show you what happens when you are able to throw that puck on net, as we saw coming out from Goons late there in the period. They didn't quite get the bounce. That Sampe got right there to guide that one in the net for the first goal, but there was the response from Goons nonetheless, as you saw that kind of very, very wide and wraparound coming out from Piku Roger to tie this game up. And Roots sub 1 minute time and attack. It has been enough to get them that goal, but you can see Goons have been able to sort of push back and gain the momentum here and get that game tied. We'll see if they can carry it over into this second period, which would obviously greatly benefit them. We talked about how important these points are in this matchup. They really are. It cannot be understated. And 90% passing as well coming out for Goons, with all 4 faceoffs being won.
So again, a rather close matchup compared to what we had seen in the first contest of this stream, of this broadcast. Let's see what happens here. Second period. The opening draw goes the way of Roots. Again, scoring that opening goal, but giving up the last one late in the first. An instant dump and chase attempt. Handled well by the defense. Running into a little bit of trouble, though. Great forechecking from Lexa. Banks off the back of the goal. Great pass. Limu gets it back, and Finn Kona was able to keep that one out. Maybe just, proper positioning saved him there, more so than reaction time.
Yeah.
Jay Toro not able to get that pass through. Is able to win it back, though. Piku Roger, the goal scorer for Goons. Big spin move back for Jay Toro. Elected to pass. Down the other way now, Limu. Trying to fend off the pressure. Back to the point. Rough bounce for Nordsman. Gives Piku Roger a chance. Shot, save, rebound. Handled well by Vody. Would have been a tough break for Roots to give up a goal there.
Yeah, an almost identical look that I think even, with the positioning as well that Roots got to get their first goal. Goons got right there. We're very well positioned by the defender to stay in front of the potential recipient of that rebound.
Is handled again by Kriketsi. Sends it up the wall. Nobody home, and an icing call. Face off in the attacking zone for Roots.
Bit of a rough sequence there for Kriketsi as he missed the pass and then iced the puck, but he's been so good on the face-offs here. We'll see if he can continue that on this offensive zone one.
Off the tie-up. Roots have it. Shot blocked by Viba. Quick pass to Piku Roger. He gets it back. That pass off the mark. Big race for it. This time, no controversial icing, and it leads to the goal. Kriketsi in front. What an individual effort that was in for Leitonen to beat out that icing and make the play.
That was absolutely massive. Just perfect bit of skating right there. He adjusted slightly, then got body position and sent the pass out. Just from a tough angle, just barely clears the net. And Kriketsi has about half the net to shoot out, makes no mistake, and Goons take a 2-1 lead here in the second.
No unanswered goals now as well. Kriketsi now double digits in goals on the season. Tied for the team lead in points heading into the day, too, with Piku Roger, and here he is again, the captain. Tries to feed that one in front. Leitonen has it for Jay Toro. Big save by Yantes. They needed that one. Limu for Sampe, nowhere to go, and Goons back in possession. Eva looking for that pass, nowhere to go. Picked off by the Roots attack here, or at least the counterattack, trying to get something going. There's Lex on that interception. Stretch pass, Limu. Sampe, Lexa, saved by Finn Kona. Strong positioning from Finn Kona. Not much you can do about that first goal. Viba shot save. And Yantes is able to find it and make the cover.
Yeah, this is getting a bit dicey here for Roots as the game opening up and kind of really feeding that Goons rush here. And Yantes having to make some pretty tough saves and some awkward bounces coming his way. Roots have got to try to, play to their strengths a bit more here. Try to just limit some of what Goons want to do. Obviously, with their goal differential and how many has just been scored both for and against them, they love this wide open style.
Limu trying to tuck that one short side. Finn Kona again. Able to make the save. This time they'll force the cover. See what happens here in the attacking zone. Roots again had a 1-0 lead. They do win the draw. Set play, but Nordsman stuck on the backhand shot. Deflection, save, rebound. Finn Kona is there again. Lexa for Sampe. Back down to the centerman. Looking for it between the legs and lost it, or it was a drop pass trying to fool Jay Toro, and it just didn't happen. Sampe again. Down low for Limu. The wraparound again, a bit too much traffic in front. Pika Roger. That pass off the mark. Good interception, though. Pika Roger has it again. Toe drags and a save on the short side by Yantes. Creativity on display from Pika Roger.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he is absolutely electric.
Nordsman the wraparound nearly caught Finn Kona off guard. One-timer scores! Sampe has his second of the game off the deflection in front. We are tied at 2.
Really good look from Roots right there. Just simple kind of hockey. Kicks it back up to the point. Quick shot on. Deflected. And it actually looks like he deflected it. And because of that, it dodged the shot block as well as dodging the goalie there. So a nice bit of work there by Sampe in front of the net. And Roots have tied this one up still with 2 minutes remaining in the second.
Yeah, big goal there again. Late goals in both periods now to start. Sampe played it here with just 5 goals. Has 2 already in this first matchup. Fody stretch pass. Loose puck here. Goons have it. They go for the quick out. I have no idea what just happened there. I would love for someone to use their pause so we could see. Maybe, hopefully, the captain remembers to go back and look. Wow, but we have a face-off in the neutral zone with 7 seconds to go. One more chance here, perhaps, for Roots is taken away. And that'll do it for the second period. We head to the third, tied at 2. Play of the period should be whatever the hell just happened with 10 seconds left.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused right there. And Pika Roger did that little Crosby thing at the end of the period as he was killing the clock behind the net. Yeah, that was very, very bizarre how that puck bounced. So, who knows? But it's tie game still. Again, back and forth as we expected this matchup to be. A bit more goals than the last one as we expected. And, far from over. Either one of these, wow, about as even as it gets, too. And I think we're going to get a look at it, right? Oh, that's the goals.
We're going to get a look at the goals here. Shame on the captain. We need to jump into instant replay, although maybe, I don't know. I think we've heard before there's some fear about jumping into instant replay mid-game, too. It's one of those things you never know.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it looks like we won't get another look at whatever happened there.
They're not listening to us. I can't blame them.
Yeah.
We're distracting. And we don't, we maybe criticize them, too. You never know.
Yeah, you don't need that critique in real time.
Absolutely not.
Oh, goodness. So here we go. Third period underway. 2 goals apiece, back and forth affair. In the first game of 2 between these two teams, both on the outside looking into the playoff structure, but again, Roots with games at hand. Trying to make the most of their opportunity after a relatively disappointing 6-5-3 start on the season based off of what was expected of Goons this season after a great season last year. As Vody here for Roots sends it around. Limu's there to pick that one up. To the point with Nordsman. Back for Limu. Read perfectly by Jay Toro. Way too much experience to pull off that play when you're facing someone like him. Pika Roger trying to fend off the pressure. One hit too many. And Goons will go to the power play.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good bit of aggression from Vody here unfortunately, as he lost the puck on the boards, that last hit, which probably would have been necessary to continue to knock him off the puck, does count as interference for Vody. He will sit, and Goons will go to the power play.
Goons with a bottom 5 power play in the league. Pika Roger, good look. Here's Kriketzi. It's only matched by a bottom 6 PK for Goons, so...
Oof.
The movable force against the resistible object.
Yeah.
Let's see if something gives here and if Goons will be able to regain the lead. Here's Jay Toro. Loose puck in front, shoveled towards goal. Leontes again able to make a save. We'll have another face-off in the attacking zone.
Yeah, perhaps when you're, struggling a bit on the power play, those jam plays start to look really good just to try to, capitalize on the man advantage. That's what Jay Toro was trying to do there.
The draw, battle for the puck. Pika Roger comes up with it. Kriketzi in front. Pika Roger nearly tapping that one home, and the puck is cleared. 25 seconds to go. On the man advantage here for Goons. Pika Roger, head of steam around the back. Wraparound goes right for it again. And a clear out, but Vody was caught. The defender thinking defense first. Just mistimed as we're back to 5-on-5, but Goons will have another attacking zone draw.
Exactly why these guys are playing in the ECL Elite. Scrubs like me who would have waited up there for a couple seconds in case that pass came are in beer league, essentially.
Here's Kriketzi, stripped of the puck by Limu. And Goons, though, able to regain possession. Leitinen for Jay Toro. Great block by Alexa and down the other way. Limu with space for Alexa, broken up by Viba. Viba once more in possession. Upon a time, Sin and I get to commentate a Pro Division final hat trick for Viba, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Good pass there for Pika Roger. Kriketzi has the puck knocked loose. Still fighting for it, though. Battled on. Good board play by Pika Roger. Leitinen tried that short side sneak. Didn't work. Kriketzi still holding. Rifled that pass in front. Nearly went off the leg and in. Pika Roger one more time for Leitinen. Sends it back to Jay Toro. That shot blocked again by Lexa. Here's Sampe. Both goals for Roots so far in this one. That shot blocked down. Great job by Pika Roger. We'll dump this one in. Step up there, but unable to get possession. Limu's pass for Lexa. That shot blocked down. For Ketzi. Able to hit Viva. 6.5 minutes to play now here in the third period. Somehow this one's onside. Roots able to get it right back, though. And an offside call with 6:02 to play.
Yeah, that was, I'm actually not quite sure how it remained onside, but we've seen that a couple times from Viva. Really good kind of at the line, just creating a tiny bit of space, whether it's with a kind of quick pass that stays over the blue line. That's the most important thing, is when you make those passes at the blue line, you got to make sure that they will stay over it.
And a goal! Roots out of nowhere make the play and regain the lead. Lexa finding the back of the net. Sin, this one developed out of nowhere.
It absolutely did, and that's kind of how their first goal went as well. He was pushed out wide, and the puck kind of skittered towards the middle. He made a quick pass to the middle, just forced it in there, and then someone just batted it home. 3-2 for Roots here with just over 5 minutes left in the third.
Big goal late. Lexa's 11th of the season for the captain. Clutch goal to say the least. Let's see how Goons respond. Leitinen. Couple of options. Back to the point. Just wide glove side. Maybe Yonta's got a piece. Certainly got a piece of that one. Still fought on for. Roots come up with it.
I think that
Sampe. Over to Limu. Sorry to cut you off there, Sin. They're not giving you any chance.
No, it's fine. I was just going to say, I think that puck bounced off the back of Piku Roger. It bounced up into the air, and I was wondering why he didn't get possession. I think it just bounced off him.
Good interception there to take away the one-timer. Sampe on the right. Good possession, pass in front, kicked away by Fincona. Final minute and a half here for Goons. They trailed, they led, they trail again. Leitinen, down low for Pika. Roger loses it. Viba trying to hold on. Leitinen recovers again. Shot blocker saved by Yontes. 50 seconds now. Biba for J Toro. J Toro has it blocked. Limu plays it off for Lexa, who will dump it around. And Roots will look to turtle up here. 40 seconds to go. Viba into the attacking zone, rushes into the corner. Walk around the back of the goal. Nordsman trying to hold on to it. Kicks it out for Limu. Covered by Kriketsi. Times it well to get back on side. Pass the front, scores! What a feed by Kriketsi! Finds Leitonen, we're tied at 3.
That was an unreal effort from Kriketsi there to not only be able to kind of get back over the line. Look at the work he's putting in. He has 2 defenders hanging on his back. He keeps positioning the puck in ways where they can't poke it, they can't stick lift, and then he makes the pass over to Leitonen. Absolutely massive. You could see why he had, coming into the day, those 16 assists. Good gracious, what a play by Kriketsi to help his team tie this game up, and we may not be done, folks.
12 seconds to go. Are we indeed heading to overtime? Kriketsi's pass off the mark. No icing on the play. Limu will hold. And indeed, we go to overtime. Both teams earning a valuable point. But who'd have thunk it in overtime on Marathon Monday?
Yeah, well, certainly not Chat, who 57% of them thought that Roots was going to win in regulation, but here we are going to overtime, and I mean, with about 30 seconds left until Kriketsi just went full Superman. I thought Roots may win in regulation as well, but Goons hangs in there, gets the game-tying goal, and once again, for both of these teams, they each secure an oh-so-important point, but perhaps to the detriment of both of them, they won't really gain any ground so far, at least. The extra point will be nice, but you also, concede a point to someone that you are battling and jockeying in playoff for eventual playoff positions. So, yeah, kind of a tough situation for both of them, but also good at the same time as they do get those points.
So again, you get a look at the shots. This game relatively close. As if the overtime didn't indicate that enough. They'll take that little bit of extra time here. Again, the first game of 2 between these 2 teams to find out who earns that extra point. Again, a very valuable point for both of these teams as they entered play today outside of the playoff structure. Rusape, 2 out of the 3 goals for Roots. Lexa dishes back to the point. Vody. Not really being pressured. Nordsman is pressured. Pika Roger takes it away. Has speed. Pika Roger has it knocked loose at the last moment. So close. Dangerous moment for Roots. Back down the other way. Limu wins it back. Shot blocked down by J Toro. Limu again has it. Gets it to Sampe. Tried to go back to Limu. Just couldn't hit that tough pass.
Yeah, J Toro's back there defending like a madman, going back and forth, cutting off lanes, getting pokes, knocking it loose, trying to get to the loose puck, and at the end of the day, deflects the pass out front.
Pika Roger, Leitonen. Oh, Kriketsi was there, just couldn't get a piece of it. Pass in front, big save, Yontes, as Leitonen was contested in front of goal.
Wow, just the hectic overtime chances for both of these teams in tight, really kind of making the goaltenders hold their breath at times, and offense's own face-off here.
Here we go, off the draw, kept in by Viba. Piku Roger shot, rebound, and again, Yontes able to find it. Dangerous moments there in front of goal. Roots doing a good job here for the first 6 minutes to hold off that pressure. See what happens here now. Again, sudden death overtime. We'll stick with this one as long as is necessary. There's Limu. His pass off the mark. Nordsman. His pass off the mark, and Roots will look to reset. Nordsman. Pass over to Limu, trying to gain the blue line. Again, Viba's there to pick off that pass attempt. Maybe a bit of nervous energy for both of these 2 teams, knowing that one mistake could be enough. Leitonen in the corner. Get back in front again. Roots. Stable defense. Here's Alexa. The captain had the 3rd goal of the game. Sampe, again, had the prior 2, and here he is again. Shot blocked down. Second chance. Feet in front. Still alive, and taken away by Viba at the last moment. halfway through this overtime. We have already had an overtime game in our previous matchup of the day. Again, YMCA Esports and Sabo Esports. Sabo winning that one before winning both games. Jay Toro sends one around. Leitinen fends off the pressure. Kriketsi. Back for Jay Toro. His pass in front broken up. Around the back for Kriketsi. Good board play there by Vodi. Scramble for the puck. Roots will come up with it. Nordsman, good outlet. Limu's pass intercepted, and he tripped him in response, trying to win it back. Goons have a power play here coming up if they need it. Here comes the extra attacker. Finn Kona to the bench. And that pass off the mark. Power play for Goons here with 5.5 to go in overtime.
Huge opportunity. It hasn't been strong this season, but this is an absolutely massive, massive chance for them. They really want to get this game winner here.
And here we go. Let's see what they can do. Another opportunity to end it. 0 for 1 on the power play. Just one registered shot on that previous attempt. Jay Toro's pass. Down low. A lot of pressure there on Roots. And a penalty's called, Sin. We're going to 4-on-4. Interference. And it'll be against Leitinen.
Yeah, it's just one of those kind of little tiny bumps there as he was perhaps trying to get a shot off and can't do that. And we'll go to 4-on-4. So a lot of space. And a little bit more time out there for some of these skaters. So we'll see what kind of skill that brings out.
Dangerous moment when the likes of Pika Roger have more space, and Jay Toro as well. Pika Roger able to hold on to this one. Hits Jay Toro. Tried to bank it off the back of Eontis. 55 seconds before an abbreviated Roots power play. Alexa forced to just prioritize possession. Somebody gets it back to him. Can't weave his way around the defender. Here is Pika Roger. Big burst of speed. Cuts in. Sampe's there to pick that puck off. Pika Roger keeping up the pressure. Just about to that Roots power play. Here we go. It's 30 seconds worth of a man advantage. Sampe for Limu. All the way around for Lexa. Limu to the point for Nordsman. Looking. Shot deflects wide. Off the corner glass. Jay Toro has it. We're back to 5-on-5. With 2.5 minutes to play. Viba looks to lead things down the other way for Goons. Finds Pika Roger in behind the defense. Pika Roger, loose puck in front. Nordsman picks off that pass attempt.
Yeah, and thinking back to that 4-on-4, you can see how aggressive Goons was being on it. I think, knowing that they were eventually going to be shorthanded, really trying to capitalize and score before Roots could get their extra man out and set something up.
Pika Roger denied. What a save by Yontes after a great keep by Kriketsi. Here he is. One-timer for Jay Toro broken up. Loose puck. Jay Toro still has it. Leitinen in front. And again, Roots taken away. And a trip. Roots to the power play this time out. I believe that was Pika Roger. And indeed it is.
Yeah, he just kind of got caught a little bit poking to an odd location, mostly a hand in this thing of the Roots player who picked it up, kind of forced that awkward poke out of Piku Roger. And, he was, they wanted to keep that one alive, but in this case, the aggressiveness may come back to bite him. This is real time here in this last 2 minutes of overtime.
Sampe trying to hold on to that one. Can't do it. Roots, though, under a lot of forechecking pressure here. Goons not able to clear that one out until that moment. It wasn't all the way down either. There's Nordsman. Just a reset here a couple of times. Limu just couldn't time it with Alexa. 1:02 to go in this first overtime.
Yeah, not a bad look right there in Roots, as they do have, some extra time. They don't want to dilly-dally too much, and I like that Limu just trying to send him over the line with a bit of speed. He just clutched it one too many times.
As Sampe has some options. Goes down low for Limu. Back to the point, Nordsman, Vodi, Nordsman, Limu just wide of the far side post. And all the way back. So close to the winner right there.
That was a very good look from this Roots power play. They're right back in on the attack.
Back to the back skate. Tried to find Vodi. Here's Kriketsi and stripped of the puck. Sampe into the attacking zone. Back for Vodi. Traffic in front. Sampe for Nordsman. Tried to hit Limu. Gets it back. Nordsman. Again, trying to go down little Limu. Kriketzi's there. He's able to send it all the way down. Leitonen won't give chase. 15 seconds away from overtime number 2. Kriketzi sends it down. That will do it. 1 overtime. Not enough between these two teams to try and secure that second point. Double overtime coming up.
There will be a little bit more power play time for Roots Gaming as well. I think about 39, 40 seconds left on that power play. So enough time, if they win that faceoff, to get themselves established in that offensive zone. But, I mean, that was a big opportunity there, gone by the wayside. They had some really good looks. A couple more chances that I think would have benefited them, but you can't really argue with their setup. They really got the looks they wanted. That Limu shot was so close to ending it. They had some other one-time looks that they didn't quite connect on. And Goons kind of survived there at that one, and that was kind of a rough time, as we mentioned, to take that penalty, as they did have the real time. So it was essentially an extended power play for Roots, as we're going to get a look at some of the opportunities that they had. I mean, they really didn't have much trouble regaining the line. I mean, just from rewinding there, I saw 2 or 3 times where they were able to gain that line, and he wasn't quite able to get to that look from Limu, who just missed the net. I think that's what they were trying to take a gander at.
So here we go, the double overtime contest. This one continues on. 35 seconds of power play time to work with here for Roots. For Goons get Piku Roger back out there. Dumped to the far side. And a nice little catch there from the third baseman in Viva. Routine play. And we are back. 5-on-5 is that one thrown on goal by Alexa Pincona. Safe play with his positioning. Here's Viva now for Goons. Throws it in front, and Yanta's there as well. So both goaltenders getting an common look. Let's go with uncommon look, but still making the save. And Sid, those chances can be the most dangerous when you just have a pass sauced on goal.
Yeah, and that's always, again, that's why we always say throw it to the net. Doesn't necessarily have to be a shot. If you kind of sauce it towards the net, it can take some wild bounces, can bounce off the goalie's pad and essentially act like a rebound, and the goalie won't control it. The same way as Leitonen almost puts it home right there with a nice little shot from the slot.
Close call. He has it down low again. Dishes to Viva at the point. Leitonen one more time. Yantes, a little bit of trouble here. Leitonen still has it. Takes the hit, though. Now it's Sampe for Roots. Head of steam around the defender. Brings it down low below the goal line. Wrap around. Just lost a handle on it. As Leitonen has it here. Piku Roger with him off the legs of the defender. And still, it stays out. The stumbles and stammers from myself only matching the nervous energy that had to be there in front of goal. As Sin, that puck was bouncing around and you had about 5 different players who could have picked it up.
Yeah, and they're all trying to, at least the offensive one's trying to take some whacks at it. Viva trying to keep that in, but a nice play by Sampe forcing that turnover. I don't think a ton will come for it as that bounce took a weird trajectory.
Good reach for the captain of the arm swing. Kriketzi, though, not able to hold on to that. It's Leitonen for Piku Roger. Now Kriketzi again. Down low, throws it in front. Piku Roger has it again, throws it across, save! May have clipped the post on the Kriketzi attempts. Goons starting to find a bit more success by just saucing that one into traffic. Here's Alexa for Goons, back for Nordsman, can't pick the corner, and Limu can't pull the trigger on the shot. Nearly halfway through this double overtime. We call it Marathon Monday for a reason. We've learned our lesson over the years, so.
Yep.
We are halfway through this second overtime. Sudden death rules. Next goal wins. Lexa couldn't pull the trigger on that shot. Piku Roger. Intercepted by Vody, and Roots trying to get going down the other way. Vody for Lexa. Poked away. Regained by Limu, but Roots running into a lot of traffic. Picked off by Kriketzi. Able to find Leitonen. Spin, pass, second chance. Knocked away at the last moment.
Well, I think Yantes made the save off there. In tight shot from Piku Roger off the one time, and he just kind of stood right in front of him and stoned him.
This one dumped in. Lexa in a foot race. Stick lift. Limu couldn't get that shot off again. Here's Piku Roger trying to weave his way through, and it's in! It sneaks 5-hole on Yantes. Piku Roger wins it in overtime for Goons.
I mean, we figured it may end on a kind of an interesting bounce right there. Piku Roger trying to weave his way past 3 defenders, 2 on his back, 1 in front of him. He does looked like a one-touch deke to his left-hand side, and after that, somehow... Oh, he poked it?
Eat your heart out, Nikita Kucherov.
Apparently, that was bizarre to say the least, and I'm sure Yantes is not too happy about it, but Goons will take that extra point and winning the first.
Can we, from our producer behind the scenes, can we get a controller check on Roots? Just to make sure we're not going to need a delay while someone has to run to the store to get a new controller after that one. Sin, what a way for that game to end.
Yeah, that's definitely a potential controller spike situation right there, but it's just the way it goes sometimes. Puck kind of just bounces and your goaltender doesn't quite react in time, and just like that, Goons are able to take that first game by a score of 4-3 in overtime, securing that important second point that they need to start working their way back up into that playoff positioning.
An incredible end to this game. A double overtime victory for Roots to earn that extra point. Looks like we won't get a look at the replay sim, which is okay. I can understand these teams wanting to get right back into the action as soon as they can. Huge result again for Goons as they continue to battle back towards that playoff contention again with the games at hand. Heartbreaker for Roots, to say the absolute least, though, to lose like that. You'll take the point, but a loss like that could ultimately be devastating. We'll see kind of what their approach is. Again, they had the lead in that game twice. It was Goons who tied it late in the third period and then go on to win in double overtime. We have to step aside for a brief word from our sponsors. We'll be back for the second game between these two and the fourth and final game of our broadcast. Stick with us, because who knows what this next game might bring for us.
Loistava vapauttava syöttö ja sen jälkeen ollaan karkumatkalla. Minkälaisia ratkaisuja tulee? Tämän kaverin nimittäin on ollut todella kylmän viileä näissä paikoissa. Kilven räpylän puolelle kummalle tulee liikkuvat taakse kiekkomaali! Ja Wilhelm jälleen kerran nakkikioskille. Smokey Bites ja Snacks ovat tuoneet hienosti lisää leveyttä Wilhelm joukkueeseen.
Minkä päällä lakukastike maistuu parhaalta? Ei voi tietää, ellei kokeile. Kouvolan lakritsi.
All right, everybody, and again, we are back. Thank you very much for sticking with us and supporting us here at Sports Gamer. Again, week 4 of the ECL Elite Division winter season ongoing, our 30-game regular season. Both of these teams, of course, in Roots Gaming and Goons, with playoff aspirations. Goons going to be feeling a little bit better after that first game, though, Sim, with the double OT winner.
Definitely. I mean, it was huge for both of them in a sense to be able to gain that first point with the overtime. As you see, you know, they were coming in today. Roots at the 9th seed, Goons as the 12th seed. Goons obviously with a few games in hand. So picking up that extra point here in this matchup is absolutely massive. And I mean, it's great between these two teams. What could actually, you know, what could be a potential down to the wire battle for one of those, you know, ladder seeds in the playoff positioning. It doesn't get much better than that in this matchup.
Absolutely. So again, the big result there. Second game coming up in just a matter of moments. But what a game that was, though. Just the back and forth nature. And you were right. You know, we said we probably won't see what happened between Sawa and YMCA repeat itself. That was very close from two teams, again, like I mentioned, that has those playoff aspirations. And I think you could see both teams kind of doing well. For Roots, though, that is their 5th overtime loss of the season. If you're going to lose, it is better to lose in overtime. And that's part of the reason why they're still kind of hanging around there in that playoff conversation. And at the very least, hovering at a pretty safe distance away from one of those potential relegation spots.
I mean, yeah, that does keep them in the, you know, with the technical 500 record. They're now 7-7-5, and that is within striking distance to get into the top 8. And again, picking up a point here and there is obviously great, but as we saw in the last one, in the case of YMCA, leaving points on the table as well could be just as detrimental as it is advantageous to get those points. So Roots, they want to be able to come away with a big 2 points in this one. Walking away from the day with 3 out of 4 points, huge. It's, you can't ask for a whole lot more than that in a matchup which is as tight as this one is, and with as much on the line between these two teams as well. It's, you gotta take all the little victories that you can out of this matchup.
So I won't throw us to the standings graphic because it is not yet going to be updated from what I can tell. But again, Goons entered play today in 12th. They now move to being equal with YMCA, 17 points each. They have 5 games at hand on YMCA, though. As well, I should note, too, Orobro in that conversation as well, and Goons with games at hand on them. Goons are in a great position to be able to battle right back and get themselves into that playoff picture. Again, where they want to be. I mean, you talk about, and we did talk about that Goons roster from last season, and even dating back to our preseason prediction, countdown show or whatever you want to call it. It still is up on our YouTube channel as well. With our captain's poll, Goons were projected to finish 4th this season. A little bit off the pace from that. They finished, I do believe, 5th last year, losing to Färjestad in the first round in 6 games. But they did have some changes in their lineup as well. I mean, VP departed the team. Jurgeli also gone, but they bring in J Toro. They bring in Leitinen. Hell, they have Omari as a depth option if they need him, which is absurd that a player of his caliber is a depth option. I'm sure that's more of a personal choice as opposed to a team being like, you're not good enough for a starting lineup, because he's a phenomenal player as well. So much talent on this team. Maybe, just maybe, it's taking a little bit more time for that chemistry to develop, but especially in that attacking zone, I mean, you see the creativity that they have in this front three, Sin. I mean, it's a tough team to fend off.
Yeah, and not only, adjusting to the new kind of rosters, but also adjusting to the new game. This has been a more kind of tougher transition for a lot of teams. And I think even Frölunda mentioned, on Twitter, this game has taken us a bit more time to adjust to than normal here.
And notice something. I gotta try to block it. I'm sorry.
I didn't notice anything. You're just...
Pay no attention to the jersey behind the streamer.
Oh.
There we go. That's better. It's better. Everything's fine. You notice nothing? Nothing at all. We'll just be here. Sin, continue your point while I continue to make a fool out of myself. Thank you.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what the heck you were doing. All of a sudden your hands are in the air like you just don't care.
And waving them like I just don't care. Exactly. See, we're on the same page here. We're good. We're good. Anyway. To get us back on track after I completely derailed us as I tend to do, we often try to keep it professional here, but at the same time, when we've had goodness, what is it now? 3 overtime periods worth of games in 3 games. We've essentially called 4 games already before our 4th and final game is due. Again, we are waiting for the start of this next game here. Again, one more between Roots and Goons, which who knows how long this one might indeed last. But Sin as well, I mean, again, we talked about that schedule. Both teams have some tough games coming up. We've talked about it a ton too. There are really no easy matchups in this division. For Roots, again, that 1 point's nice, but boy, doesn't 3 points on the day sound better than 1 or 2.
Yes. And, that's exactly the situation that, honestly, both of these teams find themselves in. If Roots can pick up the 2 points in this next one, they get 3 out of 4. If Goons can at least get it to overtime, then they would get 3 out of 4. Obviously, Goons are going to want to pick up that second W. It's just the nature of the back and forth matchup between these two teams. There's a couple adjustments that they're going to have to make. But the games like that, I'm assuming, as Goons have been relatively used to. Their goals, the goals for, goals against differential, almost sitting at a perfect 500. I think it's like 1 or 2 differential between their goals for and goals against. So that kind of, goes to show that they are still adjusting in certain ways, as we were talking about just a little bit ago. And also that kind of more used to perhaps a lot of back and forth games and close scores till the very end there.
It is updated actually on the site. 39 goals for, 41 against in favor of Goons on the season. Again, a friendly reminder right here tomorrow, King Lime and Timo on the call for our Pro Division Spotlight, Hokerit and Boomers, Ghetto Firebirds, and No Rex Gaming. Make sure to catch that. And of course, upon the conclusion of this game, we'll have a little bit more info when you can catch Sin and I this Wednesday with a bit more Elite Division action. Again, Week 4 underway here as we continue to get so close to it being playoff time. Sooner rather than later. I mean, again, by close to around this time next week, we will be right there. So again, the second game, Roots Gaming and Goons, and of course, make sure as well, hey, drop us a follow here if you haven't already, but of course, on everything social media related, YouTube as well. Sports Gamer GG is the new place to be. Sin, how do we see this one going? I mean, super close game in that first one.
Maybe a bit of the same, but you got to think a couple of those Roots goals seemingly came out of nowhere off kind of weird rebound looks or jam plays towards the net here. You're going to want to see them be able to do a bit more to establish some better attacks and get some better looks here. Goons, might have the potential to be ahead by a few goals.
Chance there early on for Goons again in their road whites. Black and green for Roots. A 4-3 victory for Goons in that overtime. Heartbreaking goal for Yantis to give up. As Leightonen's in possession here. And that's the big thing. Maybe a bit more of a feeling out process. I mean, neither side can be all that happy with giving up 3, if not 4 goals. And in fairness to Roots, as Pika Roger gets decked by Vody. Saw that in the early stages of the prior game as well. Loose puck up for grabs. Limu can't hold on to it. It's Jay Toro for Goons. Of course, one of the biggest stories of the season. Jay Toro, I do believe now his 3rd team in as many seasons for one of the premier defensemen that we have seen in this elite division. That pass in front to Pika Roger off the mark. Sampi, 2-goal game. In game number 1, gets it back and can't bury it. What a stop by Fincona. Sampi again has it on the doorstep, just wide. Couldn't sneak it inside the post. Perhaps one more chance here. It's Limu. He's back to the point with Nordsman now. Defenseman pinching in, takes the hit. Drops for Limu. Good patience. Wraparound bid. Fincona all over that one.
Yeah, and a really good start for Roots Gaming here. As I said, they need to get to a few more better looks and a bit more consistent on that. I like the pressure coming out. They didn't allow Goons to get out of the zone, and they were able to hold them in there, got a few good looks, and sequentially, those first 2 that came out, that just maybe a little bit directed wide by Fincona there, and they just kind of snowballed from there.
Burketzi down low for Pika Roger. Got to watch those wraps. Tried one again. Down the other way, Sampi, let's see what he can do. Shot on, rebound. Limu nearly tucked that one home. Great look, though, from Sampi again. I love the willingness to shoot.
Yeah, and that's almost kind of mirroring the type of shot he took before. That just kind of was directed wide. This time the aim was slightly better, but in that, Fincona just got a more solid piece and directed it aside.
Off the face-off. Set play there for Roots. Great read, though, by Goons to take that one away. Always love when the teams break out those face-off set plays. Jay Toro takes the hit. Loose puck recovered by Nordsman. He'll go for that quick out. Lexa would have been offside. Pika Roger again gets floored. Burketzi keeping the play alive. Leitonen way back to the point. Shot save by Yantes. A rocket of a shot from Pika Roger from distance.
Yeah, that was a heck of a shot back there for the winger, covering up for the defenseman who went up into the play. They're able to keep the puck in the zone, but I like the challenge coming up from Yantes to cut out the angles.
And off the draw, Jay Toro fires one on. Yantes another save. And down the other way, it is Vody stepping up. Tries to just drive into the slot. He's behind the goal now. Viba having trouble holding on to it. Vody for Limu. In the corner, waits it out. Goes to Nordsman. Good movement here from Roots, but can they get the scoring chance as Sampi throws that one through the slot? He's able to recover it. Loose puck. Leitonen takes the hit. So we still await the opening goal of this game. Multiple lead changes in that first match as Pika Roger again gets decked at the blue line. A clear directive from the Roots defense, laying the body repeatedly. And another big hit there. Man down. Pass in front. Lexa just couldn't get a piece of it. In a bit of trouble. Pika Roger picks it back up. And great recovery defense by Vody. Great drop pass there. Here's Sampe, bit of space, shot blocked down by the traffic in front. Limu couldn't get a handle on it as we hit the final minute of play in a very fast-paced first period. Leitinen, looking at his options, goes to Jay Toro. Back down. Leitinen, rocketed in front. That will do it for the opening frame. Goalless so far in this rematch again between Roots and Goons, as we will get a look at one of the numerous hits from Vody.
Yeah, and that was Roots just doing a great job throughout that period. I mean, either in the offensive zone or the defensive zone or even on the blue line there. And it was especially seemed to be directed a bit at Piku Raja there. They don't want to give him the space, because when you give Piku Raja space, I mean, we saw what he was able to do with it, with the L skating and the passes off of that, and then just, trying to take it to the net on his own, as well as we saw in overtime, which led to that weird bouncing goal. But chances aplenty for both of these teams, and it scores 0-0, but definitely not from lack of trying. There were some really, really A-grade chances from both of these teams that, unfortunately for them, didn't result in goals. Look at that passing percentage. Identical. Pretty impressive. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, right.
At least you don't see it too often.
Such a bizarre number as well, as
Yeah.
87.1%. What are the odds of that? Second period here, just about ready to begin. Again, Elite Division action brought to you by our friends at Kovalan Lakritzi, Wilhelm, and ST Hockey. As a chance for Kirketsi, blocker save, wraparound bit again, doesn't go. Goons love those looks. Leitinen recovers, pulls the trigger glove, save. Gant is making some good stops early on. Here's the chance, perhaps, taken away by the back-checking pressure. Kirketsi knocked off the puck as well. Cross-ice pass picked off by Leitinen. Goons will have to reset. Jay Toro. Not able to get that pass going with any bit of speed. Mistimed at the line by a Leitinen. Still looking for that opening goal of this game. Kirketsi for Leitinen, and mistimed at the line. Sent a bit of a defensive first approach for both of these teams to start this period.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad look there. Leitinen did initially, I think, gain the line, but he bumped into something or someone. It just kind of took him back over the line for a split second. What a move attempt off the boards right there for Limu.
As it is, Roots back in possession. See if they can break down the trap. The answer is no, with that pass being off the mark. Leitinen for Jay Toro, and another offside call. 14:16 on the clock here in the second.
Pretty much a polar opposite pacing so far in the second period as compared to the first one here, which between these two teams you don't necessarily expect to see, but mostly due to some offsides happening here, and see what they're able to do. Another blue line collision. Leitinen goes down. He will be injured as well.
I think Nordsman ended up down too. I didn't see if he tripped or what happened there. As a loose puck scramble, Leitinen does come up with it. Noticeably slower behind the play. Again, Roots entered play today, the fourth most hits in the Elite Division. Goons actually in fifth entering play, so both of these two teams very physical. And that's what it was. He ended up tripping over the fallen carcass of Leitinen after another gigantic hit.
Yeah, and that definitely seems to be what Roots have wanted to do, especially in this game. There seems to be that extra emphasis on it. We talked about Vody's hits coming into this game. The right defenseman there with 106 in 18 games played. That is pretty ridiculous number. Nordsman, not a slouch at it either, as we saw him there, just lay an absolute bone crusher.
As it is Roots back in control. We're approaching the midway point of this period. Nordsman's shot denied. Sent right back to their defensive zone to regroup. Good pass to Lexa, again immediately knocked away. Yeah, this is starting to look like what we saw from YMCA and Sabo earlier.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Neither of these teams want to be the first one to start really utilizing those dump and chases, whether cross corner or hard around the boards, to try to get the streaking winger in there. I'm curious to see which team wants to kind of step out of the comfort zone of the puck possession. Obviously very heavily in the European meta is that puck possession style, but we have seen a lot more teams begin to utilize the dump and chase and shots from the points deflections, as it's very, very good here in NHL 22.
Absolutely, and here we go. It is Roots, bit of space. Sampe shot stopped by Fincona. Easy enough. And job done, but another face-off in the attacking zone here for Roots.
Yeah, perhaps just looking to get a face-off somewhere other than the neutral zone.
See what happens. 7-2, the advantage on the draws for Roots. Viva bull rushing his way into keeping that possession, but it's immediately knocked back to the Goons defensive zone. Again, nowhere to go. Kriketsi forced to retreat. Stretch pass for Lehtinen off the mark. Icing is the call. Close attempt from Pika Roger.
Yeah, definitely kind of almost made the mechanics work in his favor as it hit off the end wall, then bounced out above that goal line again. Had he been the first one to touch it, would have negated the icing, but he just couldn't get the stick on it.
Lehtinen finds Pika Roger. A lot of traffic to try and weave his way through it, and offside on the other side. So this is why we say you never really know what to expect, because we can go from a high-scoring affair to where we're at now.
Just both teams really trying to push that puck across the line, and I think both teams not exactly happy with their defensive performance in that 5-4 or 4-3 game. What it was in the last one, definitely wanting to tighten up.
A battle for the puck. Kriketsi comes up with it, still has it now. The extra effort his player always seems to give. What a save there. The pinch in from Jay Toro, and he's denied. As Limu finds Sampe, takes the big hit. Best chance of the period, arguably, for either side. Jay Toro has it again. Pika Roger across in the rocket pass. Kriketsi just couldn't handle it. He threw a second chance on goal. Roots able to maintain. Here's Limu. Good save by Fincona. Kriketsi for Lehtinen. Shot on, save, rebound, Pika Roger. Ran out of runway. Lehtinen back for Pika Roger. Good defense by Vody. Turns it over. Slap shot blocked down. Final minute of play here in the second. Still looking for our opening goal. Honestly, again, the last goal we saw between these two teams was a weird one as well. So it's been a while since we've had a quote-unquote legit goal as we go to the third period. And again, still without a goal in this game. We'll get a look at a Yantes save here, though, Sid.
Yeah, and this was that one that was in tight, just kind of threw it on net. That just hit off of the toe of Yantes. That could have easily been the first goal of the game right there. And of course, a lot of hits at the blue line to boot. That one was Nordsman. Some shots on. I do like the attempts coming. They're kind of firing them from everywhere. So it's really not, it's been a bit of a hectic, battle in the neutral zone for both teams. And once they kind of gain the line, they're not really, wasting time. They're not dilly-dallying. They're trying to get to their shooting locations, whether it's shot from the point looking for rebounds, whether it's passes, up and down to try to spread out the defense, then looking for those one-times options either in the slot or at the, just above the circles there as well. And we've seen a lot of interesting plays coming out from Goons. I think they haven't quite perfected it, or Roots is doing a good job of collapsing, but they're doing these stick plays and stick positioning from behind the net to make these passes out into these awkward kind of short side looks. We've seen Pika Roger do it a couple times. Kriketsi as well. They just haven't quite connected on it, but one of these days, one of those is going to work out, and it's just going to be a goal coming from in tight.
That one's just wide of the post. Yantes again has to keep an eye out for those close-in chances from Goons. Turned over. Pika Roger throws it on rebound. And another save by Yantes. Great pressure from Goons early on. Wraparound pit again doesn't go. Love the hot start from Goons. That's offside. Sid, as well, Yantes kind of walked into this season. We weren't really sure, if I'm not mistaken, as to whether or not he would be the main man between the pipes. They also had Mehis, who I was told heading into that preview show was going to be their guy. Not the way it panned out. And hey, fair enough. Yantes has been a very solid backstop here for Roots this season.
Yeah, I think they split the first 4 games, and Yantes just kind of won the job, so to speak. He has 16 coming into today.
Pass in front, shot off the side of the goal. It was a wide open net for Limu, and he just couldn't get the aim right.
Heartbreaker right there for Roots. That's about as good as it gets as in gifts go from that side of the net. He just couldn't bury it.
Lehtinen fires one wide on the glove side. What a chance that was for Roots. What a pickoff that was by Viva to take away the pressure. Now here's Nordsman. Interesting bounce to the other side. Trouble for Vody. Piku Rogers there. Still fighting for the puck. Nordsman. Will find the open man. Couple of passes here. Interesting camera switch there. Couldn't really tell what was going on.
I think someone got crushed in the background.
Here is Kriketsi for J Toro pinching in. Shot save by Yantes.
And that's just that veteran kind of presence and the patience on display from J Toro right there. Really waiting till the last possible second to take that shot, letting guys get into other positions and such, and just trying to bait defenders perhaps out of position as well. Nothing comes of it, no rebound either, but you just see what kind of tools J Toro brings to the table here for this Goons squad.
Halfway now through this third period. Still looking for our opening goal. Another big hit. That pass in front, bouncing around. This one is going to go down for icing. Another face-off in the attacking zone for Roots.
9:16 left in this third, and surprisingly no goals. I mean, we've had, again, a lot of close calls. That one off the side of the net. On the flip side, Goons getting some chances that they want. Just
shot in the rebound. J Toro.
I thought that was it.
Able to take that one away. That one just to the far side. Very well could be, Sin, that the first goal is going to win this game.
Yeah, and that was a near one right there as Kriketsi just fanned on the shot.
That pass in front nearly swept in. Sampe had a great chance at it. Gets it back down low. Sampe again sends it around. Nordsman keeps it in. Good interception by Leitinen. J Toro recovers that loose puck. Now 6 minutes to go. Kriketsi the move. Here's Leitinen. Saved by Yantes. Trouble. And he squeezes the legs with the puck on the line.
Yeah, Nordsman right there, almost running away with his tail between his legs because he did get that puck pickup and it kind of deflected off Yantes' skates there. Almost put it in himself, but fortunately they are able to get the cover there.
That puck driven loose in the crease of Yantes. Able to find it again. What an effort from Piku Roger.
Yeah, that one may have been slowly trickling. Nordsman got the puck pick him, and that time benefited them as he put it right into Yantes, who then got the cover. This is getting a bit hectic, though, in their zone.
Who does that hectic nature benefit more? That's the question. As Limu.
Definitely not the goalies.
Definitely not the goalies is the correct answer. We don't know who wins, but we know who's going to lose by the end of it. Under 4 minutes to go. Kriketsi for Leitinen. Big spin. Drops back to J Toro. Back for Leitinen. Now in the corner. Around the back of the goal. Tried to find Kriketsi. Good play. Leitinen gets it back and scores! Another phenomenal individual effort from Leitinen. Roots finally surrender that goal. Goons strike with just under 3 minutes to go.
And that was an unassisted marker. Just a great job rushing back from the forecheck to kind of knock that puck loose. Gets it and rifles it on the short side. That's actually an incredible celly as he skates over to the cameraman, points at the name on the back of his jersey. 1-0 Roots, 1-0 Goons at 2:50 left. Roots are gonna have to pull out all the stops here.
What a clutch goal that was. Chance there for Vody. Finn Kona able to make the save. Tough break for Yantes. He stood tall for the majority of this game. But a picture-perfect shot for Leitinen. I believe he had a goal in the first game as well, so entered play with 4. Now has 6, and another chance there for Roots. And remember, Limu had a wide-open net essentially to shoot at earlier this period and couldn't hit the target. Coming back to haunt Roots now as we hit the final minute of play here in regulation. Goons oh so close to walking away with 4 points from this matchup and making the most of the games at hand that they had after that first win, Sin, off of points percentage. It does push them into the playoffs, and this will only secure that position. Even if they give up the tying goal here, overtime seems like it's a certainty. Nearly got the short side effort there, did Lexa. Has it again, looking. Rolls out to his left. Lexa for Limu, nowhere to go. Kept in. Lexa again looking. Down low, Sampe. Scores! Roots tie it with 21 to go. What a play. What a goal. Lexa able to find the back of the net.
It all starts back there with Vody, who kept that puck alive, was able to send that one back down low, making that play even possible there. A beautiful, beautiful pass back to the slot to Lexa, who was streaking in there and is able to beat Finn Kona on that blocker side. We have a tie game. That just means potentially more hockey between these two teams, which I will not complain about.
15 seconds to go. Are we going to get our third overtime game out of 4 on the day? Goons with one more chance. Lightning, Piku Roger can't hold it. Nordsman does. And indeed, overtime for the second time between these two teams. And it's thanks to the late goal. We'll see a save from Finn Kona, labeled as a game saver, but unfortunately, the late goal. Okay, what a game-saving goal as he gets scored on. Great replay.
You'll love to see it. Oh man, you gotta love.
Oh no,
you gotta love when the sports game or production outweighs the EA production. We'll take that. We'll take that as a very, very badge of honor here. But yeah, I mean, just back and forth as we expected, and I mean, with the late goal coming out from Goons, like all statistically points to them being able to come away with it. But that is just such a nice give and go play. As simple as it is, definitely not enough teams utilizes it overall in sixes. Obviously in the competitive team scene, teams definitely make the most out of it. But if you're watching here, you play in some of the lower level stuff. I mean, just whip that out when you're playing with your buddies in clubs. Such a useful play right there. But again, credit where credit's due. Vody keeping that puck in and keeping that down low, and the time was ticking away. It just was absolutely huge. They kept that pressure on. They're able to capitalize.
So to recap, as overtime is underway, Goons have already earned 3 points on the night. Roots now with 2. Question is, who will add 1 more to that tally? Both teams absolutely desperate to make the playoffs. As again, both were, Goons very much expected to. Roots expected to be in contention for it, along with numerous other teams who have also proven to rightfully be in contention. 8 playoff spots, more than 8 teams that could rightfully be in the postseason, Sin.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just the parity just continues to increase here in the ECL Elite, and it just makes things so fun to watch here as things go on. And unfortunately, that puck goes out to the neutral zone. Roots unable to keep that alive, but this would be absolutely massive. Again, if Roots come up with a W here, that's both teams walking away with 3 points, and while it doesn't benefit them over the other one, it does benefit their overall seasons. As we mentioned, both of them are currently scratching and clawing to get back into that playoff picture.
So another face-off here, 17-7. The advantage in the draws. Goons do get the edge here, though. As Kriketsi finds Leitinen just wide. That glove side for Yantis. Again, we've covered 4 games here today. 3 of them have gone to overtime. We call it Marathon Monday for a reason, is all I can continue to think. Here is Leitinen. Has Piku Roger. Scores! He does it again! Piku Roger, his second overtime winner in as many games. Goons walking away with 4 points on the day.
Drive the net. That's all he does right there. He drives the net and then pucks and bodies to the net. Good things can happen. Piku Roger, the previous season Rookie of the Year, showing that there is no such thing as a sophomore slump for him. He gets yet another game-winning goal right there. That will bring him up to 5 game winners on the season here, continuing to lead his team in goals and work his way up potentially after today into the top 5 in goal scores here in the ECL Elite, but most importantly, helping to lead this Goons team to 4 points on the day over Roots, who will only secure the 2.
Good performance from Roots, sticking with a team that again was projected to finish top 4 in the division, but at the end of the day, only 2 points secured when you are still having to battle the likes of ZSC and Orebro for one of those final few playoff spots, granted in that conversation as well. A bit of a heartbreaking loss, especially with how both OT goals ended up going in, but I mean, especially that first one, which was just brutal.
Yeah. I mean, but just to kind of point out how evenly these two teams are matched. Their passing percentage was off by maybe 0.5%. They actually had the exact number of time on attack there at the end. I don't know how they did that. They matched passing percentage at one point, and at the end of the game, they matched time on attack, as you can see right there. Just such an even matchup between these two teams. And unfortunately, with the way the seeding works, we likely won't see them play each other in the playoffs. But a 7-game series between the pair of these two teams would just be absolutely unreal to witness.
So again, a huge result for Goons as they continue to make the most of their games at hand that they currently have. You'll get one more look here at the winner for one Piku Raja for Roots as well, hanging around in the playoff conversation. We'll see, as unfortunately I am just a mess. I am a mess.
That's
what
we
is
call
even happening?
A glitch in the matrix, or you're missing no. So don't catch them, kids. You'll lose your save file.
Everyone play Pokemon Legends. Do what you have to do. Is missing no even in the new Pokemon? Who the
I don't know.
knows?
I just dated myself. Everyone knows that I was. Ugh.
I remember the good old days of Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Oh, man.
When we tied onions to our belt. 'Twas the style at the time. Again, a huge result, everybody. A reminder, if you somehow enjoyed what we bring to this broadcast, and we hope you did, you can see more of us this Wednesday as more ECL Elite Division action comes to you right here on Sports Gamer. We have some interesting matchups there. Again, H-Reds and Frölunda both in action this Wednesday. And, of course, again, Pro Division action, same time tomorrow on Tuesday, as again King Lime and Tymo will bring to you these two particular matchups. And again, as always, sportsgamer.gg for the updated information with everything going on. Again, as we have explained to you all broadcast, a crazy season. Parity reigns supreme when it comes to what is going on in the Elite Division this season and just how close this playoff race is going to be, as I do believe now every team is over the halfway point with the exception of Frölunda, taking their sweet times and getting those games in.
Just lagging, making us wait for it. They're like, yeah, we'll get back to the top of the bracket, when we feel like it. There, 14 games played. I mean, at this point, we have teams with 20, correct?
Yeah.
I think the biggest gap here, but with the condensed season, the way the scheduling kind of worked out, definitely, just kind of how things fall right here. And it's jarring to see Frölunda that low in the standings, but then you look at the record, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, all those games in hand, they'll work their way up. But also, shout out to Sawa, who, for the time being at least, are at the top of this division, which we absolutely did not have on our bingo cards for this ECL Elite season.
Again, the captain's poll had them in 5th, and some people are like, that's a little bit surprising. They're proving a lot of people wrong this season. Technically, the top 3 on point percentage, H-Red, Sawo, Frölunda. So it's been an interesting season. Again, we still have a ways to go. So many different stories in terms of those top 4 spots and home ice advantage in round 1. Who's even going to make the playoffs? Who's going to avoid the relegation battles? Who will be in those relegation battles? Who will finish in dead last and outright be relegated to our Pro Division? There's still so much to be decided. Unfortunately, we cannot decide it all today. That is going to have to do it for us. But we will again be back this Wednesday. Make sure to tune in tomorrow again for our Pro Division coverage. You can catch Sin at Sin for the Win Productions on the YouTube side of things. You can also catch him every Tuesday and Friday on the Tukey's Take podcast with me as well. You can listen to that on Spotify, Google, Apple Music, and on YouTube. Just search Tukey's Take podcast. And of course, I'm everywhere at Tukey24. We will be back with you this Wednesday. Thank you so much for watching and supporting Sports Gamer. Have a great rest of your day. For those of you that are, of course, on the local side, the other side of the pond, get some sleep, rest up, especially to Goons and H-Reds after some very, very sweaty games. You guys deserve the rest. We'll see you guys on Wednesday. Again, thank you so much for watching.